I am currently on the clock in this fantasy football draft. We are at pick 5. Saquon Barkley goes at 4. Was really hoping we were going to get Barkley. Y'all know that I took Barkley in the Flock League, so I am all in this season. We'll go ahead and we'll take Jahmyr Gibbs. Gibbs actually went at the 4 slot in the Flock League, so I was unable to get him. I drafted Saquon Barkley instead, but honestly, I have Barkley ranked higher than him anyway, so no harm, no foul. We will just go ahead and lock in Gibbs, who a lot of people at this point are putting as their running back 1. But before we're on the clock again, let me show you what we are doing. This is an underdog basketball draft. No time commitment at all during the year. So I can draft these teams every single night. That's how I've drafted these teams every single night for 4 years. It's not meant to replace your main fantasy football league, just some extra fun on the side. And here with this tournament on Underdog, it's the Flock Community Contest 9. We drop Flock tournaments on Underdog every Sunday night, Tuesday night, as well as every Friday night. It's a $10 buy-in, $10,000 to first place. And if you're looking at how you win that, there's going to be one team in your 12-team draft that advances to the fantasy playoffs. That's the highest scoring team. Then in week 15, you got to beat a person. If you beat them, in week 16, you got to beat another person. And if you beat them, you advance to a 100-person final, which then you get $10,000 to first, $5,000 a second, all the way down the line. But yes, we will also be getting in a $500 draft as well. The $500 draft will be right after this. I'm actually sitting in that draft lobby right this second, and there are 5 open spots. So we're just waiting for that draft to fill. And as soon as the $500 draft is filled, we are going to swing that over and get that one done. And Jules says, great job, editors and Mason, on the Flock video. Well done. Thank you, my friend. And yes, just in case y'all haven't, I know I've only showed y'all this 1,000 times, and I know you already know this, but the Flock League video has dropped today, or it dropped late last night. It was absolute beast of a video to get out. Editors worked a little booties off on it. And, that channel officially hit 30,000 subscribers. So really cool. You just search Flock League on YouTube and you can see the video there. Okay. Let's see. Puka Nacua off at pick 16. Rookie says, are you hopping on trend 2? Flock League is going to get massive. I mean, I'm already on trend, my friend. I am already. Now, Bucky Irving off the board at pick 18. Pristine, welcome to being another Flocker, my guy. Happy to have you. So Josh Jacobs goes at 19. We are going to go ahead and we will take Achane. I know Achane's not a practice right now, but honestly, getting him at pick 20 is going to be a no-brainer for me. We're just going to go ahead and we are going to lock him in. Super, super easy. Okay. Metro Boomin says, is there a spot on the Flock site to ask questions? Big money pot, and we changed up the format. Want to get your take? Yes. I'm not going to promote this much because, again, I'm not wanting to turn these into live Q&As every single night. But if you are on flockfantasy.com, there's this little button in the top right corner that says personal advice, and then you can go ahead and get anything you want there. But again, I'm not going to be promoting that a ton. It does look like we are going to have to start doing live Q&As every night just because a lot of people remember how to do that from last year, and those questions are flooding in, and I definitely need to make sure I'm getting people answers in a timely manner. But those are going to be separate live streams to the draft streams that we're doing every night. Okay. So Josh Allen off the board at pick 26. When we start running back in an underdog draft, we are highly incentivized to slam wide receivers from this point forward. Okay, Seth says, Mason, I love you, and so does my sister. Okay, not cool. I have blocked her on every single platform. Literally, I have blocked her everywhere. For her to get on your account so she can send me this message is just wild. I can't believe she's this down bad. And I'm going to have to block you now. I guess now I'm going to have to block Seth from everything. Just absolutely brutal. Now we're going to take JSN. I would never have taken JSN ahead of Trey McBride in the Flock League, even though I think he did go ahead of Trey McBride. Crazy if you ask me. I took T. Higgins in the middle of the third. I'm sure you already saw. But in your regular redraft league, go Trey McBride there, specifically in underdog drafts with these being best ball drafts. You are going to have to make that adjustment. You are going to have to push wide receivers up your board because there is no waiver wire and these guys are going to fly at some point. But obviously, if you are not already on Underdog, it's not too late. We are still drafting these teams every single night on the live stream. Again, it's not going to replace your main fantasy football league, just some extra fun on the side. And definitely hop in a flock tournament with us. You can find the link to Underdog Fantasy in the live chat, the description in the comment section. And if you use code FLOCK, you will get a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. Plus, at the same time, you're going to get all my 2025 fantasy football rankings and draft guide cheat sheets sent to your email address that you signed up to Underdog Fantasy with code FLOCK every Friday morning, all the way up until the start of the season. And we will update those every single week, even though it is absolutely brutal to update those. However, I do need to say that if you wanted to get in underdog drafts, you need to be in one of these states. You can see the map here. They're in all the big states. They're in like 45 plus. There you go. Okay. Let's see. Alex Soul says, what's the least expensive underdog league? Underdog right now, I think has the cheapest one at $5. But it seems like every week now they're dropping a $1 draft. JP says, Mason, have you made any trades in the Flock League yet? Love the Flock draft vid. I may or may not have made a trade. Which obviously we'll keep you posted on, but the editors are working on that video. So Calvin Ridley off the board at pick 41, and there are 4 spots open in that $500 draft. Once that's filled, we'll switch over. Y'all know what we're doing. I mean, when we start Gibbs Achane, I kind of announce it to the world. We're playing catch up at wide receiver at this point. Okay, Jameson goes. I mean, we're going to take Devontae Adams. I'm underweight Devontae Adams in general. I think y'all have known that, but here getting Devontae Adams in the 4th is going to be an absolute no-brainer. Thank you very much. Okay. Hunter says, are you doing any reviews after? No, I think we're just going to do drafts tonight. The live Q&As, I think we're going to do probably before the draft streams going forward. Like I said, we're going to do those live Q&As. We're going to do those team reviews on the site. We're going to answer those sorts of questions and those trade questions. Probably we're going to have to do one of those streams every single day until the start of the season. And reality, what we're going to do until the start of the year is I'm going to be drafting these teams on the live stream, and we're going to be doing live Q&As in 2 separate streams. Then once the season starts, then we're just going to be doing the live Q&As. And I'd imagine, based on how many of y'all have got the season pass, which of course I am very, very grateful for. Thank you so much for everybody getting the season pass. Y'all are the reasons why we've been able to do so many cool things with the Flock League. We are going to be live streaming a lot this year. It is going to be very, very heavy of us live streaming. Because, again, if you got that season pass and you used code FLOCK when you got it, you should have free start set questions and trade questions for me to answer. And I'm going to be answering a lot of those. Okay, Breece Hall off the board at pick 51. This is the furthest I've seen Breece Hall fall. Devonta Smith goes 52 to the Jalen Hurts Saquon Barkley team. And we are just going to continue to play catch-up wide receiver here, and we will take Courtland Sutton. So overall, I really like this team. Okay. Gordon says, how long do slow drafts take? Will the timer be faster closer to the season? Yes, the timer will be faster closer to the season. To be honest with you, though, I don't know how long they take. I'm in slow drafts, don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't be able to give you a good estimate on how long it'll be. Chuba Hubbard, Travis Hunter, Ricky Pearsall, all off the board. Sorry, I need to text a lady to bring me some water. I'm dying in here. Egbuka goes 57. Drafts are so different now than they used to be. Like, I've been doing drafts on Underdog every day since April. And the draft board now is like some of these players go in a completely different range than where they used to be selected. Axel says, wait, free draft sheets using your code. Yeah, if you signed up to Underdog Fantasy, using promo code FLOCK, those 50 draft sheets that we update every Friday, they'll get emailed to you. And they'll get emailed every Friday. Frank says, yeah, I'm glad I loaded up on drafts when I did. Yeah, boards are crazy. I do not have nearly enough Igbuka for this kind of rise. I wish I would have drafted him way more when he was cheaper. Ricky Pearsall, I got a decent amount of, though, which I feel good about. We were pretty early on drafting Ricky Pearsall and fading Juwan Jennings, which that feels good, but I was not drafting nearly enough Igbuka. Okay. Ben Willis says, when's the next Flock vid? I'm assuming you mean Flock League video. The next Flock League video is probably going to be Saturday, if I had to guess. Okay, Zay Flowers off at 64. Cash Clark says, Fan did a great job in the draft except for the QB. I think the Fan did fine at QB, to be honest. Yeah, I think the Fan did great. Let me know what y'all's opinion of the Fan is. And also, if y'all watched the draft video and y'all liked the Fan and y'all wanted to see how he got into the league, you can actually go. These are the 3 videos that have been posted for the Flock League channel this year. You can actually go and watch the 200 fans audition to join our fantasy league video. And that's the video where Sammy won a spot. And that's how he joined the league. We're not going to take Burrow here. I'm going to take Chris Olave, and we're going to continue to play catch up at the wide receiver position. If we go running back, if you're in a 2 wide receiver, 1 flex league on ESPN, on Yahoo, on Sleeper, just chillax. You're going to be fine. But here, 3 wide receivers on Underdog, and it's best ball. These guys are going to fly. You start running back, you better catch up. Okay. Z Millie said Fan had the second best draft. People saying the Fan smashed it. AJ says Jinxie in the league would have been hysterical. Yeah, it was just never happening. I don't know why I thought. I don't know what made me think that we could possibly have gotten Jinxie in the league. I mean, it would have been the best thing in the world. Don't get me wrong. But okay. Shakir off 74. Yeah, I mean, we can all agree that Nathan had the best start and the worst middle round picks. I don't think that there's too much of a debate. It will be crazy if, I'm rooting for Nathan. I'm rooting for Judkins. Y'all know how much Judkins I've drafted in these Underdog drafts. We're going to take Stephon Diggs. Like, the thing is at wide receiver, it doesn't matter if it's your redraft league. It doesn't matter if it's a best ball league. There are about 50 good ones, which sounds like a lot. Don't get me wrong. But the 50 good ones are all gone by round 8 in Underdog drafts. In your regular ESPN draft, they may last until round 10. They're not doing that here. So, again, we don't have the alpha wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 1's JSN, wide receiver 2 Devontae Adams, wide receiver 3 Sutton, wide receiver 4 Olave, wide receiver 5 Stephon Diggs. We're having to win the wide receiver position with depth because we went Gibbs and HN out the gate. But, honestly, I could see this team winning this Flock tournament. I could see this team winning $10,000. We're in a decent spot. Okay. Yeah, the devs did a good job as well. Adding Nate. So we have 4 devs that now work on flockfantasy.com. Adding Nate, I really think helped him out. I loved Tom's clip. Obviously, I know the devs more than anybody does, right? Like, I meet with the devs a ton to work on the site. I don't work on the site, but we talk about it and they work on it. So Tom was the dev who, if there's no way y'all even remember this, but he came on and he said he didn't know much about football, but he loves Zach's one-man play about Batman. That was my favorite part of the entire video. I love that. Okay. Keon Coleman goes 86. Baker Mayfield goes 85. Kevin says, what is the schedule for Flock Fantasy videos? Flock fantasy videos, we're going to post a video every day we're going to post a video every single day until the season starts. Then we're going to be posting like 2 videos a day. The Flock League videos are much tougher to make. And the Flock League videos will have 2 posted a week once the season gets here. I think there'll be 2 more videos posted regarding trades, and then we're going to have a big waiver wire run on Monday. And then we'll have like the week 1 preview. But we're going to do essentially like a preview and a recap video every week. Okay, Bo Nix goes. We'll take Jaden Reed. Wide receiver 6. And then honestly, at this point, Jaden Reed, your wide receiver 6. You don't need to keep taking him. Like if we didn't draft another wide receiver in this entire draft, I'd be fine. But again, going back to there being 50 good wide receivers and then nothing beyond that. Pittman's gone and then RIP, wide receivers. And then it is nice that we did not draft Jaden Reed all year and we were taking Matthew Golden instead. And now we see Jaden Reed going at 92 and Matthew Golden at 60 when they used to go right next to each other. Dak Prescott at pick 99. And please, if you're in the $500 draft, make sure you remind me in the chat when it gets filled. I see that there are 2 spots open in it, but I do not want to miss that. That would be no bueno. Let me just double check. Yeah, 2 spots open in the $500 draft. Cup goes, so we'll take Kelsey. Kyler Murray doesn't give us a stack. Neither does Justin Fields. Travis Kelsey should have some decent regular season points, and we have yet to take a tight end. There's not much to discuss. Ipun says, Mason, at what point do we stop taking wide receiver values if I have no running back too? It's going to depend on how many wide receivers you can get in your starting lineup. To be honest with you. Ben says, Mason, if B-Rob gets cut, where does JCM rank? So I actually have already ranked him on the site. So I made the video today saying that like I had realized last week whenever this JCM stuff started happening, I went to rank him on the site and realized that he wasn't loaded into our player pool. Then I shot the developers on the site a message saying like, hey, y'all need to add JCM in, blah, blah, blah. But it was obviously such a busy week with everybody coming to Austin and everything going down and then so many updates with the site that they had overlooked it. So I think the reason I got Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt in the last round of our draft was just because he wasn't loaded into the rankings on the site. A lot of guys were looking at the rankings on the site and just kind of looked right over him. Now, lucky for me, the little voice in the back of my head where I obviously am never turned off, just remembered his name and went for it. So I have updated my rankings. I have put him at RB 31. I have him next to like Jordan Mason, Jalen Warren. Honestly, I think I'd maybe move him a little bit further down than that. Let me know what y'all think. Should I move him higher, lower, or stay the same? Please spam the chat. Higher, lower, or stay the same for JCM. He's here at 31. And this is going to be the new rankings view on the site where you can also view everything in tier list format. You're going to be able to pull stats up on these players just like we do in the rankings videos. But this isn't live to y'all yet. Y'all just still have the old rankings. But like you can pull in whatever stats that you want when you look at these players, which would be really cool. Like here's like an example. If you want to look at their age, right? You can pull in the age column and then the age column will show up, but they'll be like that with all the stats. Okay, let's see. We got a lower, 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 same, lower. Jalen Warren over him, behind Warren. Yeah, realistically, I think y'all are probably right. I think we got to move him down a bit, which give me 1 second. We will. To be honest with you, I just got so excited and then I kind of wanted my team to be higher in the My Teams page on the site. I'm not taking Brian Robinson. I'm not taking Bateman. But I guess we could take Kraft. We could take Goff. We're going to go Goff. We have Gibbs. It's not the worst thing in the world. Also, stacks aren't going to matter as much here in the flock tournaments on Underdog as they will in some of the other larger field contests. So we will go ahead and get Jared Goff. Should score a lot of regular season points and help us advance this team to the playoff tournament. But I'm realistically going to move JCM down right below Travis Etienne. I'm going to put him at RB34. Now that I've had some time to think about this, now that I've had some time to really look at it, this feels like a much more reasonable price tag for him. So put him down at RB34. Because hypothetically, if I had Travis Etienne on my team and JCM, I think I'd trade JCM before I trade Travis Etienne. Okay. Now, Keenan Allen at 122. So looking at quarterbacks here, we could go Jordan Love to pair up with Reed. Outside of that, nobody's really in play. Anybody that we would have had, like, has kind of gone. I thought this was good. Judkins, 124.1 ADP is a 5th round pick at worst. That's funny, my friend. We're going to take Jordan Love here as our second QB. Pair him up with Jaden Reed. And this is true. I need to move Austin Eckler up as well. Thank you for the call out. Let me move Eckler up. Where do we have Eckler? Oh, yes. Eckler needs to fly up. I'd rather have Eckler over Najee. I'd rather have him over Jaden Blue. We're going to move Eckler up to RB48. So it'll be our updated ranking with Eckler. And I will be super excited to actually add JCM to the draft sheets for the first time. We're going to start working on those draft sheets tomorrow. And we'll get them updated on the site on Friday morning, and we'll get them emailed to anybody who would use code FLOCK on Underdog and made that $10 deposit. We'll get that out on Friday morning as well. And again, with that Underdog offer, I'm very sorry. I wish it was like you made a $10 deposit on Underdog and using code FLOCK 4 years ago, and you just get the draft guides forever. That isn't the case. It is a one-time offer. So it's Underdog sends me a list of all the email addresses that have signed up and used code FLOCK in 2025. And those are the email addresses that we send out the draft guide to. And I do remember the $500 draft, and there are 2 spots open in it. But obviously, you can still get the draft sheets and still get everything with the 2025 season pass, which you actually get a lot more than just what you get with the Underdog setup, because you get all the other draft guides, draft sheets, and everything from the other creators. And you get unlimited tool access, including trade calculator, trade finder, my team's page, range of outcomes tool, player comparison. Get updated weekly rankings and rest of season rankings all the way until January 1st. Plus, if you use code FLOCK, I'm going to be answering your start set questions and your trade questions in the live stream this year. So, by far and away the best deal we've ever had on the site. By far and away in my opinion, the best tool that you could possibly have to win a regular redraft league. I'm going to be honest with you. It's not the best tool if you're doing an Underdog draft. It's not the best tool for DFS. You can find a way better stuff for that. But if you're drafting on an ESPN, Yahoo, Sleeper, NFL Fantasy, like CBS, just a regular redraft league, it's by far and away the best resource for that, and it's the cheapest at the same time. Eckler goes. We're going to take Tucker Kraft. Tucker Kraft here falls 25 picks in ADP, and we took Jordan Love, and we need another tight end. That is what we call an auto pick. So we're just going to go ahead. We will take Kraft. We're not going to think twice about it. And it looks like a couple people just left the $500 draft. There were only 2 spots open, and now there are 4 spots open. So we see. Derek says, can you withdraw an Underdog with credit card? So I've withdrawn about $150,000 on Underdog from when we won the massive tournaments a couple years ago. And when I went to withdraw, the options that we were given is we were given like on the website, PayPal, and then a bank. I tried to do it with PayPal. I don't know what I was thinking. I was just so excited that I won $150,000 that I was like, oh my gosh, I'm losing my mind. They sent me an email saying like, hey dummy, this is too large of an amount for us to send to your PayPal. Just give us your bank so we can wire it. And we're going to take Dalton Kincaid here. Dear God, what's up with the tight end fallers? So then filled out the little bank thing. It got sent to me ASAP. But again, that was $150,000. So I'd imagine that it is a very different if you are just withdrawing like $100. AJK says, yes, you can use credit card on Underdog. Thank you for the update. Okay. Let's see. Nick says, good God, that Kraft value is beautiful. Nick says, Kraft is my most drafted player on Underdog. Yeah, I mean, here getting Kraft at 140 and Kincaid 149 does kind of seem like a no-brainer. Like, let's say generally you have Kelsey and Kraft. You may not need to take a third tight end, but it's like, well, realistically, we took tight ends at pick 101, 100, and 140. I'm sorry, 101, 140, and 149. So the cost is actually a lot lower just because we got these guys at massive value. So I think we can afford to take them. Like, realistically, there's a good shot that Tucker Kraft outscores Hollywood Brown and Joshua Palmer. And at the same time, there's a good shot that Dalton Kincaid outscores Kyle Williams and Demario Douglas. So I'll be happy to take these two players. Yes, I know. It's a surprise to many people. Most people don't know this. It's some deep, deep, deep lore of my backstory. But we won $150K on Underdog. But don't tell anybody. Mr. Ski says, so when I win the $2 million from Best Ball Mania 6, they won't cash at me the winnings. I'm not going to speak for them, but if you try to get them to send you $2 million on Cash App, there's probably a good shot that they reach out and ask just for your bank stuff. Sebastian says, what players did you win the $150K with? The two guys that were my first two picks were McCaffrey and A.J. Brown. Kayla Get goes 160. Nick Chubb goes 141. Wasn't inherently planning on going with another receiver, but if you give me Romeo Doubs and we have Jordan Love, could go full-blown Packers onslaught and not take a third quarterback. Let's see what this team does ahead of us. They have 0 tight ends. They could go Henry. Yeah, they go Henry. All right, we're going to take Dobbs. I was honestly kind of planning on maybe only drafting 6 receivers with this team, but Romeo Doubs 164 when we have Jordan Love kind of seems like a no-brainer. So we're going to do it, and then we're probably just taking running backs because we have picks. We're around 15, 16, 17, 18. We got 4 picks left. Unless we wanted to go 3 running backs and then 1 quarterback and just really, really bank on Gibbs and Achane staying healthy and getting us through it. King Matt says, so you're telling me if I win $2 million, they won't bring cash money to my doorstep. I think that they will hire an Uber Eats delivery driver and they'll probably hand them the $2 million cash and just give them your address. Say, hey, can you deliver this for us? That's what I'm thinking. Jack says, Dobbs is rumored to be traded or cut. I'd be very surprised if Romeo Dobbs is cut. Thornton goes 171. We'll take Rashad White. Thank you very much. I definitely feel a lot better about only getting 5 running backs. That's what we do if our RB3 is Rashad. Okay. Frank says, how do I get Underdog on my PC? It's not an app for your PC, so obviously it's an app for your phone. But for your PC, it will just be the website. Just go to underdogfantasy.com. There's 1 spot open in the $500 draft, so it looks like that thing is going to fill. This is what happens. Mr. Scroll says, if you win $2 million, a bald Mason appears at your door with a wheelbarrow full of pennies. Yeah, dressed in a leprechaun outfit. Balin says, Mason, do you regret not getting a running back sooner in the Flock League draft? Let's be real here. And I'm going to be 100% honest. The value that I got in the Flock League draft, I had the best draft to anybody there. There's not a doubt in my mind. And with how active people are trading, if I really need a running back, I can trade for a running back. Maybe I already have. So I do not regret anything when it comes to our draft. Like, let me go through and let me look at the board, and I'll tell you if there's a single thing that I regret. Let me pull this up. As y'all know, I am very honest in these underdog drafts of like, oh, I messed this up. I should have done this. I'm an idiot. You've heard me say that a bajillion times. I'm quick to admit. Round 1, I made the correct call. Round 2, I made the correct call. Round 3, the correct call. Round 4, the correct call. Round 5, the correct. Round 6, the correct. Round 7, the correct. Round 8, the correct. Round 9, yes. Round 10, yes. Round 11, yes. Round 12, I should have taken Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt instead of Nick Chubb, but I ended up getting him a couple rounds later. I think really the only pick was like, if I knew that nobody was going to be taking these tight ends, maybe I don't draft Dallas Goedert and instead I grab a different running back. But that different running back would have been like Will Shipley. So I am quick to admit that I'm an idiot and I get things wrong all the time. We're going to take Darnold, and this could be something I get wrong. Maybe I should just go ahead and take a running back instead. But I'm quick to admit that I'm stupid and I get things wrong all the time. However, I genuinely mean it that I do not regret a single pick I made in that league. Dacking says, I think you should have picked Shipley over Hunt. I'm not going to fault anybody for thinking that. Shipley goes ahead of Hunt in these underdog drafts. Now, I do have to admit that I regret watching the Batman act. I should have thrown a tomato. That's my biggest regret, is when Zach was up there being Batman. I should have had a tomato ready. I should have hit it somewhere in the room. I should have thrown it at him. That's my one regret. Woody Marks. I'm going to take DJ Giddens instead. I think Giddens is better. Charlie says, what do you think the range of outcomes is for Woody Marks this year? I think the best case scenario for Woody Marks is he kind of is Justice Hill. That's my guess. Ooh, oh, crap. We're on the clock. I mean, we're in a $500 draft. Oh, crap. That $500 draft's been going. Oh, no. Oh, no. We get Barkley. Oh, thank God I realized this when I did. We need one more running back. Let me make sure I just queue somebody up. Honestly, F it. I don't care. Just give me one of these guys. This is the thing that matters. Again, I know it like just kind of seems the same because we're live streaming. It's the same platform and everything. But the draft I'm doing now is worth 50 of the ones I just did. Like, this is what I need to be ready for. This is what I need to crush. Which I liked our draft a lot in the last draft, but Turn Theory says Josh Allen at the 109 is crazy in a $500 draft. I'm going to agree with you, Chief, and I'm not going to complain because what that allows us is to start Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown. So I am not going to cry about it. I am not going to sit here and say, oh, how dare you spend $500 and draft Josh Allen in the first round. I'm going to tip my cap and say, thank you very much, sir. I really appreciate it. And yes, we're going to go double Eagles. We'll run it up. Okay, T. Higgins goes 26. And starting running back wide receiver gives us a lot of flexibility here. Yeah, let's go Birds. As Nate said 1,000 times in the video. I don't agree that I have to get Jalen. I mean, like, there's no way in hell I'd take Jalen here at 28. JSN off the board, like, I could go Lamar if I wanted. But we'll just take Tyreek. The amount of teams I'll have Barkley, A.J. Brown, and Tyreek in this tournament, slim to none. And again, this is the tournament that I won back in the day. But whenever I won it, it was only a $250 buy-in. But also, whenever I won it, it was only $100,000 to first place. Now it's $200,000 in first place. Okay. Mike Evans off the board, 31. Evans has been a big-time riser. So just confirm for me real quick, the Lamar injury is literally nothing, right? If we're seeing Lamar go here at 30, I think in the last draft there was no slide for him either. Like, Lamar is 100% A-okay. There's nothing to be concerned with. Because at least that's what these prices are indicating. Okay, James says he didn't even know he got dinged up. Yeah, he got dinged up at practice. But it seems like he's good to go. Thrill Shot says, imagine that was Taysom Hill, not Tyreek. Well, the Underdog would have a serious, serious problem with their ADP. Trust me, I would be calling ASAP and going, you have screwed me. Y'all know when I called the Underdog support line the other day to leave a voicemail to tell them that they were doing me harm by allowing me to draft the big Q? You better believe I'd be calling that voicemail if they had Taysom Hill at the top of the ADP in round 3 with Tyreek Hill's picture on it. Dante says, why do you think Kyron Williams' ADP has fallen since last year? I think, one, the offensive outlook's maybe a little bit worse with Stafford another year older, as well as Stafford a little banged up. And also they take Jarquez Hunter, who could see usage on third downs. Okay, Kenneth Walker off 39. Let's see what this team at 9 does. 0 wide receivers the first 3. Do they go with their first receiver here? You never know. You never know. I'm rooting for them, though. I hope they go with the wide receiver. Definitely make their team better. Okay. They go Trevion. So never mind. Not going to say Trevion Henderson's a bad pick here. I think quite the opposite. I think Trevion Henderson is a very good pick. Now, issue is you don't have a receiver, so how are we not going to just take Garrett Wilson? Okay, Ted McMillan goes 143. Yeah, we'll take. Do we just bet that the Eagles' offense is that we're gonna do it? F it. A team won Best Ball Mania last year by just taking all Cincinnati Bengals and betting that the Bengals' offense was the best in the NFL. Now, we did see in a draft last night on Underdog somebody go with Barkley, A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, then Devonta Smith. I don't like that, but if you can get Hurts in round 4 instead of round 3, I'm okay with it. CH says 2 $500 plus contest winners drafting next to each other is kind of nuts when you think about it. I'm sorry, I'm just kind of out of the loop. I'm an idiot. Is either Gamble Trade is either Jolty or Player Q a former Underdog tournament winner? Okay, CH is Player Q 1 DK 555. Good to know. So Player Q is a little tough cookie. You're a little tough cookie, Player Q. Not Cyrus says 3 players with the same bye week. We are optimizing for weeks 15, 16, and 17. So yes, week 9, our team's going to be a little bit weak, but I think our team's going to be pretty damn good in the playoffs, which is what I care about. Okay, Calvin Ridley goes pick 51. Like, I genuinely don't even know what the bye weeks are for my players in the Flock League. Last thing I maybe drafted all players with a week 10 bye, week 8 bye. I don't know. Last thing I'm ever considering in a draft is a bye week. It has to be like a very specific style underdog tournament for me to care about that. Let me pull this up real quick. All right, let me look at my updated team. I'm not going to show y'all my updated team because, like I said, I've made a trade since the draft, and I don't want to let y'all know exactly what that trade is. But this player week 7 bye, this player week 9, this player week 5, this player week 8. Yeah, so with this player week 10, this player week, I don't really remember. Keep in mind on the My Team, I'm looking at the My Teams page right now. Let me show you all a team that hasn't changed since the draft, just so you can kind of see what it looks like. Like this is the fan on the My Teams page. He hasn't made a trade. Or this is the dev team on the My Teams page. They haven't made a trade either. So like you get a bunch of information on this. Like you get the best players on your waiver wire. You can sort by position and stuff. You also get like your positional ranks. So dev team is the 4th best quarterback room with Jalen Hurts. The 6th best running back room with Gibbs, Swift, Brian Robinson, Ford, Justice Hill. The 5th best wide receiver room with A.J. Brown, JSN, Sutton, Juwan, Luther Burden, Trey Harris. The 10th best tight end room with Travis Kelce. But you don't get the bye weeks there, which I'm not going to tell the devs they need to add that because we are fine without that, to be honest. Yeah, the bye weeks really only matter in the Eliminator tournament. I think you can make an argument that you can say that they matter in the marathon as well. Master Truck says, are the sheets going to be ready on Friday morning? I draft on Friday. Yes, we are going to be starting to work on the sheets tomorrow, and we're going to make sure that the sheets are done before drafts on Friday. So I can promise you the sheets are going to be out either Friday morning or Friday afternoon, but they'll be out before Friday night. And they'll be obviously updated on the site. And again, if you want to see how to get to those, just the draft guides tab on the left-hand side. And you can go ahead and scroll to Flock 2025 Flock draft sheets. And these will be the updated sheets. And then if you signed up to Underdog, just look at your email and they'll be in your spam, most likely. Jay Sweesty says, good to know I draft next Friday night too. Yeah, and I'm going to update them next Friday. I'm going to update them this Friday and next Friday. Chris is racing my first Ironman in 5 weeks. Wish me luck. Good luck, my friend. Have a ton of fun. I'm very jealous. That's awesome, my guy. Congrats. Tony Pollard off at 67. We're not going to take Burrow here. We will take Chris Olave. I think Olave is going to be the easy pick. Again, you kind of can't fall behind at the wide receiver position in these Underdog drafts. Mr. Scroll says, what about Friday by 11:30 a.m. Central? That's when I draft. I'm going to try my best. I can't promise, though. I'm going to start working on them on Thursday. They take about 8 hours to get done. So I'm going to start working on them tomorrow. And I promise you, the second that they're done, they are going to be sent out and they're going to be posted on the site. So the last time they've been updated, the issue mainly from the last update to now is probably Trevion Henderson's too low, and Brian Robinson is way too high, and JCM is still in there. Sorry, he's not in there, which we need to get him in. But I'll be updating everything, not just those guys. Obviously, we have a bunch of minor updates with the rankings too. Those are just the major ones. And then obviously the ADPs have updated on the platforms as well. And we need to get the new ADPs inputted in, which that's just like, it's just annoying as hell. It's like a lot of it is, it's all just busy work. It's like I've already updated all the rankings on the website. So just, and it's not like I have to do any of the work to get the platform ADPs other than just copy them over. And then just format all the sheets. Okay, Sam Laporta goes 75. All right, what are we going to get here? I can tell you who I'm not taking. I will not be taking, I'll say it when there's 2 seconds on this clock so they can't hear it. I was not going to be taking Caleb Johnson or Jaden Reed. I will take Jawan Jennings as our wide receiver 4, though. Okay, Colton, welcome to Be Mother Flock. Happy to have you, my friend. Danny says, I think Sunday Ticket has a discount. Yeah, so I got Sunday Ticket at a discount. I'm sure it's one of those things that it's always discounted, you know. Like they're always the like, oh, get this before this Sunday or the price is going to go up. It's like I used to make fun of my aunt because we'd go to, every time she'd come into town, she'd need to go to Bath and Body Works. And every single thing is like, oh, buy one thing and get these 3 things free. Every single time you go, it's always like that. It's like, hey, that's how it always is. That's just kind of the norm. But yeah, I got Sunday. So, and also with Sunday Ticket, I think they screw you. Maybe we need to do this on flockfantasy.com. Maybe we need to take a lesson. Is like, I got a really good deal on it. But it's like, oh, you're also signing up for a subscription and you're agreeing that the price is going to go up 3x for next year. So it's like, oh, okay, well, you can get, I forgot what it was. It's like, you can get Sunday Ticket now for $200. Just know if you don't cancel it before next year, it's going to be $600. It's like, oh, okay, well, that kind of sounds crappy, but thank you. Let's see. Aaron Jones goes pick 82. Yeah, Jalen Warren officially ahead of Caleb Johnson. God, y'all know I'm the first person to always admit that I'm stupid, and I hate to be the I told you, look, I'm smart. But one thing that we have consistently nailed is when you're drafting in April and May, you don't take the rookies, you take the veterans, because everybody's just thinking about weeks 15, 16, 17 and upside. And then once you get closer to the season, everybody all of a sudden looks at projections and they go, oh crap, Jalen Warren's actually the starter here. Okay. Tyron Tracy at 84. Brock Purdy goes 87. Keon, I do like the Keon rise. The Big Q says, what even is the hype for Caleb Johnson? Because I don't get it. People really loved him in Dynasty, given the rushing profile. Like, to be honest with you, I'll take Caleb Johnson if he makes it to us here at the 808. The difficulty is it's a team that's going to be playing from behind, and he's probably going to be a first and second down grinder. That's typically not the profile that you want. Now, obviously, I took Jalen Warren in the flock league, so I'm rooting for Warren. But Caleb Johnson at 90, this is a great pick. Like, I really like this. I think the main thing is just people from a dynasty perspective really, really like the dude. Mark Andrews goes, we can't take Jaden Higgins. Do you have the wide receiver room thinned out a little bit in Houston with the John Mechie deal? And again, we talked about this in the last draft, but you have about 50 wide receivers that are interesting, and then they all turn to dust. Then they're all garbage. So Jaden Higgins is one of these last few remaining wide receivers that you could look at. Eric says Steelers defense will keep them from playing behind. What's their over-under? Let's look up NFL win totals, the lines. Let me see this. Right now, the Steelers are at over under 8.5 wins. So I guess it's definitely unfair for me to say that a team that projects out to be a 500 team is going to be playing from behind. Yeah, I mean, yes, they'll be playing half their games from behind, but they're also going to be playing half their games from the lead, at least according to sportsbooks. Okay, Bo Nix off 97. Cooper Kupp goes 98. So Shaheed at 95 is interesting for sure. If we would have known that, actually, Baker's not really in play for us, just given the fact that we have Hurts here. Dak Prescott goes 99. And the reason that, like, I'm saying he's not in play because we have Hurts is because, we're going to take Godwin. I'm sorry. But we're going to take Godwin and go, we're playing for weeks 15 through 17. If I'm trying to win a tournament. Like, Godwin, if anything, should be getting a slight premium because now it seems like they're incentivized to rush him back with the Jalen McMillan injury. So we'll take Godwin like wide receiver 51 or whatever the hell this is. Go, if I get half a season out of him, it's a much better pick than whoever else goes behind him. But Pristine Pool says, what's your opinion on 0.5 extra points per reception for the tight end position? That's probably a good thing. It makes them at least a little more relevant. Daryl says, Mr. Metcalf, I hope you're having a good day. I am, sir. Let me tip my little hair for you. Daryl says, any tips to reach a bod like yours? I would say a lot of HGH, a lot of TRT, a lot of trend, and a lot of hard work and dedication. And then obviously it helps that my mom was 6'8" and my dad was 6'11". So genetics plays a big part in it as well. Now, Big Q says, where is B-Rob supposed to end up? Not on my team, I'll tell you that much. Like, because the thing with B-Rob is we have he's never proven that he's good at the game of football. It's not from a fantasy perspective. And if like this no-name JCM, which I don't want to be mean to the dude. I mean, my hopes and dreams and the flock league are now solely on his shoulders. But if Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt is going to push him out of town, what makes us think that, like, if he goes to Chicago, DeAndre Swift probably runs laps around him? Michael says Sal has a great shot at coming in last in the flock league. I would like that for sure, because whoever comes last in the flock league this year is going to have to spend 24 hours at a Denny's, Waffle House, whatever it is. Y'all have heard of the punishment before. And what we are going to make them do is we're going to make them live stream it. So if Sal has to spend like 24 hours at a Denny's and it's live streamed, and I can go in and mess with him while he's there, that'd be beautiful. That would be heaven on earth for me. Now, Nathan doing it as well would be perfect. We make him wear a Quinshon Judkins jersey. Text says, maxed out BBM for the first time ever today. I feel exhilarated yet full of shame. Real quick, let me make our pick, then we can talk on that. Honestly, y'all are going to hate me so much for it. I know we're just taking all the injured guys, but we're going to do it. We're going to take Mixon. Mixon in the range of Cam Scattaboo. Let's run it. But, yeah, I have not maxed BBM. I have like 30 teams left that I need to draft. And we'll probably... I may have to do some slows. Because as crazy as it sounds, what? Do we have 8 days? No, we don't have 8 days till football. Do we have 2 weeks until football? Oh, I am so stupid. When does this season start? September 4th? 14 days. Oh, thank God. Well, I lied to... I had lied to the volleyball team. I told them that today was my last game. Apparently, next week's my last game. But Judkins off the board, 121. I would say that this is probably the best value in this draft. Most sharps take him in the 5th. And here we're going to go quarterback. The question is, which one? Caleb, best value in the board. We have no stack. McCarthy, we have no stack. Herbert, we have no stack. Love, we have no stack. Lawrence, we have no stack. So if we don't have a stack with any of these quarterbacks, I guess we just take the best one. So we're going to take Caleb Williams. We're going to hope that he scores a bunch of points in the regular season. And we're going to hope that Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles go nuclear in the final 3 weeks. And we're chilling at that point. But yes, if Nathan loses the Flock League, you better believe he will be wearing the Quinshon Judkins jersey. And we will have him wear that in the Waffle House, as he has to. What's funny too is I believe Nathan's gluten-free. So there are a couple guys in the Flock League that are gluten-free. Not me. I'm a little piggy. I eat anything. Like I'm literally a pig. You toss anything in my little trough and it's going down the gullet. But a couple guys in the Flock League are gluten-free. So we determined that. Let me ask you all this. So the thing is with the Denny's or the Waffle House, whatever it is, you spend 24 hours in it. And every pancake that you eat, full-size pancake, it takes an hour off. So if you can eat 12 pancakes, you only have to be in there for 12 hours. So for the gluten-free people, because I'm doubting Denny's or Waffle House has gluten-free pancakes. If they did, they'd be probably so disgusting. It would honestly make it 10 times more enjoyable for me to watch. Oh, I have to tell you all a story. I know we're in a $500 draft right now, and this is not the time. But let me get done with this, and then we'll move to the story. This story is 100% worth it. Trust me. But we are thinking that instead of one full-size pancake, takes off an hour. But for the gluten-free people, they have an option of every 3 eggs that they eat takes off an hour. So if you sit down and you eat 21 eggs, 7 hours is off the punishment and you're down to 14. Let me know what y'all think of that scale. Is that good? Is that bad? What are you thinking? So here we have Zuki says he can eat 12 eggs for breakfast. Well, then you would move your 24-hour down to 20 hours. You got 12 eggs in the belly and you got 20 hours to go. Desire best is 3 eggs is harder than 1 pancake. I don't know. People are saying eggs are easy here. I think eggs are easy. We're going to let like the non-gluten-free people, you can do whatever you want. So say I lost, I would sit down and not immediately order like 4 pancakes and 12 eggs. And I'll try to knock 8 hours off immediately. But then again, you are so full and you are sick to your stomach and you got 16 hours to go. And that's assuming you can eat the 12 eggs and the 4 pancakes. But let me get over to the story. I guess we could do IHOP if you think IHOP has gluten-free pancakes. I have no idea. Dallas Goddard goes 137. We have yet to take a tight end. So tight end's for sure in play. Anything's in play except we're going to take Trey Benson. I prefer Benson over Javonte, especially with the potential addition of Brian Robinson going over to Dallas if he gets cut. Okay, so have I told, maybe I've said this once on the live stream, but it is such a good story. So I have this buddy from high school that was training for an ROTC scholarship. And I never ran in high school. I just played tennis. And he was training and he would go and run every single day, do his push-ups, do his blah, 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 so he could get this ROTC scholarship. And of course, we're the biggest nerds ever. So we're in AP Physics C, which is AP Physics calculus based. And I just talk so much trash to this kid, telling him like I'm more athletic. You know, I'm the master troll. Y'all have seen me in the flock league. That's what I'm doing my thing. Telling him that I can beat him in a race, blah, blah, blah. And it turns into this big event where like we have a pretty big school. It's like a class of 600, 700 graduating kids. And they bring down like the school. We had like a school news thing every Friday. And they bring down like the school news thing and our entire class goes out to watch us run a mile. And loser of whoever ran a mile had to, the winner got to pick the loser's outfits for school the next day. So essentially you are wearing a little girl tank top and a little skirt, obviously. So of course I smoked this kid. No surprise there. Then we are roommates together freshman year of college at UT. Ooh, wrong button. We are on the clock. We're going to take Kyle Pitts over Joshua Palmer. So this is where the story gets fun, but that's a little backstory. So backstory is we did it in high school. I won. He had to wear girl clothes essentially to school. Pretty funny. Ha ha ha. But then in college, he was a scrawny kid at the time. Now he's a straight up bodybuilder. He could snap me like a little twig. Massive dude. But at the time, little scrawny kid that just played League of Legends all day. And he would tell me like, oh, I can eat so much more than you, blah, blah, blah. Because at the time I'm trying to get on the powerlifting team. I'm lifting weights nonstop, eating nonstop. And then I told him, I was like, you don't eat anything. I bet if I filled up a to-go container of food from JCL, which was the University of Texas, like cafeteria, that you couldn't even eat it all. And then I was like, but I'm allowed to fill it up. I'm allowed to put as much as I want. And then we get in a big argument, friends there, blah, blah, blah. And then we finally settle, like, we're just going to run back the bet. So the to-go containers are like plastic, right? They're like plastic, green, like reusable things, but like the exact size of a to-go container that you would get from like any restaurant. So I had a plan. The reason, obviously, anybody can eat a food full of, I was acting like you couldn't eat anything. You had the tiniest little stomach ever. I wasn't acting like I was going to put the grossest food in there imaginable, right? So we get like our group, like we make it a big event. Loser's going to have to all day at campus the next year, essentially wear the same exact outfit, little skirt, little tiny tank top. And it was like all sparkly too. It was hilarious. I wish I could show you all a picture. And I go into JCL and I got about 12 vegan like burger patties and I smashed them down into the container. And then I got a stack of like 100 slices of American cheese, like cold American cheese. I got like a stack of like 100 of them and put them in the and then walked out with it. And he was so devastated when he saw it. And then yeah, he tried eating it. He ate like half of it, got so sick, and then lost the pen. I had to wear the stuff again the next day to class, which was hilarious. And then we ran back the bet like 2 years ago who could do a Murph faster, and I won again. And we had a housewarming party and he had to wear this. Actually, no, the outfit was gone. We had to go to Goodwill and get him a new outfit, but it was the same concept. And then for a housewarming party, he had to wear that. And then we went out to 6th Street after, and he was walking around, and it was hilarious. Yeah, but it was pretty fun. I haven't done anything like that in a while, but I just remember it was the best day ever for me. I loved it so much. So if y'all see Nathan, tell him that I said he can't eat a to-go container of food. We're going to take Hunter Henry as our second tight end. Okay. Z-Win says, what dorm did you stay at UT incoming freshman? I stayed at Jester East. If you're going to stay at a dorm, Jester is like the biggest dorms where like the most is happening in the center of campus. I would recommend you stay there. They're also the cheapest dorms. And what I did, and I would say this for any kids going, and obviously UT may be a little bit different than whatever other college, but there are like two different things. So obviously the normal dorm, at least at UT, because it's in the middle of the city, so there's not much space, right? There's one bedroom and 2 people live in it. And you have like kind of like bunk beds and then space underneath. And then there were 2 different options that you had. You could share a bathroom, was like your room with a bathroom in the middle and then somebody else's room. So it's like 4 guys sharing one bathroom. Or you could do a community bathroom where there's like a big bathroom in the hallway with toilet, showers, everything, right? And I was the only person I knew, that guy and I that I just described, we did the community bathroom because it was cheaper. Everybody else I knew did the shared bathroom, like where you just share it with 3 other guys and it's like connected to your room. But God dang, 2 is a good price here in a $500 tournament. So is Jerome Ford. We're going to take Jerome Ford. But I highly, highly, highly recommend doing like the big community bathroom, because the thing is, if you have like a 1 bathroom for 4 guys to share, nobody's going to clean it. Every single time I ever went into one of my other friends' dorms, it was the grossest thing that you could ever see. However, if you did like the big bathroom that everybody in the hall shared, the cleaning staff went there multiple times a day, and it was perfect. So I know it sounds grosser, but speaking from firsthand experience, it's actually much, in my opinion, much cleaner and much better to do the cheaper like bathroom that everybody shares versus just having it with 3 other guys, because it's either it gets cleaned multiple times a day or it never gets cleaned at all. See. So after we take Ford, Tua goes right before like Daniel Jones, Darnold, Stafford. If I didn't have Jalen Hurts and Caleb, I really would have considered Tua there. Like if I would have gone like, say, Kyler Murray and Caleb, I would definitely have taken Tua, even if it was unstacked. Okay, Matthew Stafford off 178. And what are these other teams? So let's check on the team that took Allen at 9. They have Allen at quarterback with Darnold. They have Allen double stacked with James Cook and Keon Coleman. They have Darnold unstacked. And they have Allen stacked with Kincaid and Ray Davis. They have every Buffalo Bill. Running back, they have Bucky Irving, James Cook, Trevin Henderson, Ray Davis, Najee Harris. Tight end, they have Loveland, Kincaid. Wide receiver, Egbuka's their wide receiver 1. Rome's their wide receiver 2. Reed 3. Keon 4. Luther Burden 5. Leggett 6. They're just going to be way too far behind at receiver, in my opinion. Let me see. This year, right now we have Jalen Hurts stacked up with A.J. Brown, Saquon Barkley. We have Caleb Williams unstacked. Running back, we have Barkley, Chuba Hubbard, Joe Mixon, Trey Benson, Jerome Ford. Wide receiver, we have A.J. Brown, Tyreek Hill, Chris Olave, Juwan Jennings, Jaden Higgins, Chris Godwin. And then tight end, we have Kyle Pitts and Hunter Henry. Okay, Rodgers goes 181. I think that's maybe my first time seeing the Rodgers picture, or at least paying attention to it. God, Will Shipley may have the worst profile picture of any player. Can y'all find somebody with a worse profile picture than Will Shipley on this board so I can see? Let's see. Best looking guy on this board is... I'm not going to lie. Obviously, I'm not signing off on this. But if I looked like Quinshon Judkins, if I could grow my hair like that, sadly, I'm balding, so I can't. It is so hard to have like half your head blonde like this and the other half regular. Like, dear God, if I could have hair like that, I would definitely do something like that. I would either do this or like the Odell thing. Like the curly hair like this that I can't get, it looks so good if it's like dyed blonde. But somebody says Worthy's is pretty bad. Let me see Worthy's. Worthy's, he's got his head cocked sideways. Worthy's a little cute guy. No, I think Will Shipley's is probably the worst. We're on the clock. Jalen Wright goes. We're not going to take Anthony Richardson. We're going to take Pat Bryant. Looks like it's getting cleared out in Denver as well with a wide receiver getting traded. Let's go back to the important stuff and let's start looking at these profile pictures again. Somebody says Charbonnet looks like a thumb. No, Charbonnet's a good looking dude. Keenan looks way more like a thumb than Charbonnet does. Just because he's rocking the full ball top. Which I'm heading there, Keenan. I'll see you there soon. Hollywood looks like an alien. Look at this dude. Like the way that his head's shaped with this picture. I'm assuming it's just the picture. But the top of his head's so much bigger than like the little bottom of his head. Roland says Cup with the new hair scares me. Yeah, Cup's hair is looking a little crazy. Cup kind of is looking like a 60-year-old woman here. Benny says, have we really developed into analyzing profile pictures 14 days before the season? Well, my guy, we just finally got the new profile pictures. We're going to act like this isn't relevant stuff. The big Q just looks like an absolute dime piece with the goatee. Yeah, late round picks. Go worst picture, Will Shipley. Best hair, Quinshon Judkins. Probably worst hair, Dallas Goedert. Somebody says Mason Taylor looks like a thumb. Yeah, Mason Taylor looks like a toe. Okay, AR, we're not taking... We can take another tight end. We'll take Elijah Arroyo. get the draft capital. They move on from Noah Fant. Let's kind of see up here. Let me just get a quick little skim. Anybody stands out profile picks? James Cook, good looking dude. CD Lamb, good looking dude. I like the buzz on Higgins. Mahomes looks like he pulled the Brady and got like fake hair, fake teeth. I don't know if he's always looked like that, but. Desire Best is Harvey looks like a criminal. Let's see. Pacheco looks like Alien, or he looks like Predator from Alien vs. Predator over here. Harvey, where are you at, buddy? No idea where this dude is. Harvey does look like a criminal. I probably shouldn't say that out of context. Alex says Kincaid looking funny with the band. Brock Bowers. Did Brock Bowers really update? No, Brock Bowers is still rolling with the botched hairline. Yeah, Kincaid looks like a kid. Jason says Tesla best hair for sure. Let me see. Yeah, Tesla looks maybe like the youngest kid here. I liked Ayuk's fro when we saw Ayuk. So Tyler says, can someone take Gunnar helm so I can see his handsome mug? I mean, Brock Bowers has been rocking the 15-year-old vet hairline, not just in year 2, but that's been that's been a thing. Roman, Malik Washington, both off the board. I can't believe Malik Washington went there. AR is probably not going to get drafted in this. So running back, we have Barkley, Chuba, Mixon RB3, Benson RB4, Jerome Ford RB5. This was Best Ball Mania. You'd be done at running back. Tight end, we have Pitts, Hunter Henry, Elijah Arroyo. Wide receiver, we have A.J. Brown, Tyreek Hill, Chris Olave, Jawan Jennings, Jaden Higgins, Chris Godwin, Pat Bryant. For the love of God, please, Jawan Jennings, be healthy to start the year. We know Godwin won't be. So Best Ball Mania, I take an 8th receiver. Here, I may get talked into going with the 6th RB. I may do it. Jazzy says, what happened to the super chat feature? We turned off super chats on YouTube and we only have them on flockfantasy.com now. Frank says Aaron Rodgers started doing drugs and lost all his aura and skill. Did Rodgers start doing drugs and then get bad at football, or did he just... Has he been doing drugs for a while and just started talking about it while he's been bad? That's a really good question. I'd be interested to know if y'all know, but we're going to take Justice Hill, and typically we do 3 drafts in these streams, but as you can hear with my voice and my yawns, I'm too tired for that. So we are actually going to call this here with 1 draft stream. I like the team overall. Am I going to sit here and say it's the best team I've ever drafted? No, but I think it's definitely serviceable. But I think we'll do 2 live streams tomorrow. We're going to do 1 live stream where we're answering questions on flockfantasy.com. Obviously, we'll be streaming it here, but the questions are sent there. And then we'll do another Underdog basketball draft. So really hope we can draft with y'all. Again, I'm drafting every single night till the season starts. These are best ball drafts, so it's not going to take away from your main fantasy football draft. It's not going to take away from the Flock League for me. It's just some extra fun that I have on the side. And I'd be super happy to draft with you if you wanted to draft with us. I always leave the link in the comment section in the description of these streams. Just says draft with us here, and you can hop on Underdog, of course. And if you use code FLOCK on Underdog and make that $10 deposit, on Friday, you're going to be getting the updated 50 draft sheets. And obviously, if you can no longer take advantage of that Underdog offer, you can always get the updated sheets on flockfantasy.com. $34, not a subscription, one-time payment. Gets you access to everything on the site until January 1st. Plus, if you use code FLOCK, I'm going to be answering your start sit questions and your trade questions in the live stream. But I think that's all I got for you. I really appreciate you and really hope you get